Guessing a word can help you massively in language learning. Have you ever tried to speak a different language before and you've got mid-sentence and you don't know what a word is, or you've forgotten a word? If you can guess that word, it can help you massively. This is how you can do it. Hi guys, I'm James, I'm native in English and I can speak Spanish and Italian. I help people reach a conversational level in a different language. In this video, I'm going to talk a bit about how you can guess how to speak in a different language when you forget a word, to use as a toolkit in case you get stuck or you're trying to say something and you can't quite get your words out or you forget something. It's to help you bypass that point so you can continue what you want to say, you can keep going with your conversation and essentially get yourself out of trouble, and that's the point. So how does it work if you guess how to speak a language? Surely that's not possible. Well, luckily there's many languages based on Latin that stem from Latin origins, some of which are English, Italian, Spanish, Romanian, Portuguese, French is also one. These languages are formed based on Latin, so a lot of the words that we speak today are Latin based and they sound very similar in these languages. So let's have an example. Let's say I'm saying something in Spanish and I want to say something. In general, this is the case. For example, if I wanted to say that in Spanish. If I'm talking and I get to the point where I don't know what the word general is in Spanish, I can think, okay, I don't know that word, but let's try and guess it. I have a chance of getting the right word because it might be a Latin-based word. So general, that is an English word, but it's Latin-based. It so happens that that word is Latin-based. If I look at the Spanish version of that word, let's have a look at what it is. The word general in Spanish is general. Essentially, you can hear the first bit of it is a different accent, but the word G-E-N-E-R-A-L, the spelling of it is exactly the same. So it's just the pronunciation that changes from English to Spanish. Now looking at the Italian version of that, generale. So you can see, the only difference in that is when it's Italian, you add an E on the end. So it's the same spelling, but with an E, and the accent's a bit different. Generale. You put more emphasis on the middle of the word, the A, and you add the E onto it at the end. My point is that if you're in a situation where you can't remember a certain word, this word, for example, general, you can have an attempt at what it would be in either Spanish or Italian and use that within the sentence. Worst case scenario, someone understands it and they're like, okay, the pronunciation is slightly off. Maybe you've guessed the word correctly, but the pronunciation is a bit off. Maybe you're not saying general, maybe you're saying general or something like that in a more English accent or something. That would still be understood because they can tell what word you're wanting to use, and in the context of the full sentence, it's more obvious to them. So that can save you between not knowing how to continue and giving up with a sentence and trying to revert to English, or trying to revert or giving up with saying something that you want to say, versus continuing and hoping that in a likelihood that this is a Latin-based word, it will still be understandable. And really, what's the goal here? Well, if you're learning a new language, you want evidence that you're able to speak and communicate in a different language with native speakers. You want to build confidence that what you say is working and it works. What you've learned via a language course or online actually works in the real world, because that way, your mind understands this information to be valuable and it understands it, and you get a kick from being understood, and that's what we're looking at the moment. We're not looking at absolute perfection, but if you can work your way around and navigate your way around a language and be confident that even though you might not be able to say exactly what you want, you can say something similar, that's the goal. Now, on the other hand, you may be thinking, well, how can I guess my way through Spanish or Italian? How can I learn a different language completely guessing words? The truth is, this doesn't always work. It might work 50% of the time for you. But the use of this tool, of this knowledge of the similarities between words, is that if you get stuck or you can't say a word, the alternative to quitting is using this. You can basically think, okay, I know this word in English, let's try and use it, and there's a 50-50 chance that the other person, despite you not talking 100% in that language, they will still understand the word because its roots are Latin-based. And if you adjust the accent of the word to what you imagine the accent to be like based on the vowels in Spanish or Italian, you can get by. And this can also apply to other Latin-based languages too. So let's do a few more examples of English words that can be translated to Spanish or Italian by changing them slightly. Let's look at the English word legal, as in like a lawyer, that sort of thing. So the English word is legal. The Spanish word is legal, legal. So it's a different accent change, but it's written exactly the same. In Italian, it's legale, legale. Another word, for example, is the word normal. In English, it's normal. In Spanish, it's normal, normal. the accent's a bit different. In Italian, it's normale, so you have an E on the end of it, and the accent's a bit different as well. So imagine if you're mid-sentence and you're saying something in Italian or Spanish and you want to use the word normal, you're not sure what it is in the other language, but you give it a go. You speak in Italian and you go, so something is, this is normale. And most likely, they will understand you because you're using that word, you're converting it into what you think it is in Italian, and then you're taking the chance that it's correct. Even if it's not exactly 100% correct, you're more likely to continue the flow of conversation because you're trying that, you're using that tool. If they think that you said something that's a wrong word or that's disrespectful, they're most likely going to forgive you and accept that you're just trying to speak their language. So any risk that you're going to offend the other person or maybe make a mistake is far outweighed by the benefit that you're practicing a language, you're showing them that you're committed to speaking their language, and you're trying to connect with this person, you're trying to make friends or build a relationship with them, and they can see that you're positive, you might be smiling, and that counts for everything. One more technique you can try is you can keep saying a similar word. If you're not sure what it is, say you want to say the word normal and you're speaking Spanish, you might go normal, normal, normal. You say variants of what you want to say again and again and again, maybe 2 or 3 times at once. And this is a common thing between people who speak different languages, is you go in with the approach of, okay, I'm going to try and say this word, but if I'm not 100% certain that that's the right word, I might throw in a few other words as well that could be right. And eventually, I'll get a nod or a body language from the other person that's like, oh, I understand you, that makes sense. So if I'm trying to say the word normal in Spanish, and I'm like, normal, 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 and then maybe the third word that I say clicks with them, then I can move on. So if at first it doesn't work, try again, try repeating different versions of what you think is correct until you get the right answer. It's trial and error, but with language learning it always is, and that's how you progress. So that's it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment below to let me know what Latin-based language you're learning, if you are learning a Latin-based language. And also leave a comment if you find any words that are similar between different languages. Lastly, 84% of people who are watching this video haven't subscribed to this channel. If you'd like to keep up to date and you found this video valuable, remember to subscribe and like this video and leave a comment if you want. Thanks for watching and see you later.